Do you realise how much pride you got to swallow to admit this? I mean, you got to swallow it. You got to eat crow. Everything is upside down, inside out, backwards. We in the West, we actually have no idea. None whatsoever. It's not the name of the style of the governing, the business model of whatever government you've got. It's who's in charge of it. Welcome, Parenti. Remember, Hitler wasn't a communist. He overthrew communism.
And what does it mean to be a communist? It means to fight and devote yourself to the people. If communists, if we leftists, if we Marxists, if we revolutionaries, if we progressives, if we all we want is to hunger for power, then why do we side with the powerless? Then why do we toady up to power? Why don't we take the road of the Henry Kissingers and the Daniel Patrick Moynahans and the Ziggy Brzezinskis and the Eugene Rostows and the McGeorge Bundys who toady up and mouth for power? And what does it mean to be a...
It's funny. Doesn't matter what you call it. Any ruling power, all ruling power is corrupt. It's evil. Inherently evil by nature. The problem is communism is easily captured. That's what's wrong with communism. It's easily captured. Because the government controls everything. Government and governance aren't the same. Government is the governing body that is supposed to do the will of the people until the will of the people is not their priority, if you get my drift. Governance is the actual will of the people that is supposed to be being done by the government. Now, if you and a few people get together and somebody's got a little bit of land and you all get together and grow a community garden, that's governance. It's self-governing. That's the true meaning of anarchy. Well, what? We thought anarchy was chaos? No. What we have in our society now is chaos. Everybody wants to do the telling. Nobody wants to be told. Nobody wants to live and let live. Everybody wants to believe that they have the right to tell you how to live in your own home. whatever the consequences are for you for living a certain way in your own home are your consequences. Nobody else's business. And we should make it their business. And to go away. I know it's nearly your tea time. So never forget how Hitler came to power. I forget the name of the building place, what they call it, the equivalent to our Parliament House or America's White House of the day, which was being run by the Communist Party. He burnt it down, framed the Communist Party for doing it, and was democratically elected with no competition. Kind of like what we have, except we're presented with pretend competition. People who will still do the same thing no matter who's in charge. And we all know who's in charge. Michael Parenti just told you some of them. We're done, we're cooked. This system's cooked, it's finished. Is this definitely end times? I don't know. Just keep your lamp full of oil. See, those who are trying to work it out, they're either frantic fanatics. I was there. Thinking that they have some duty to do God's work for him that he's already has laid out. Instead of just speaking truth, you can't ram God down someone's neck. They're just going to spit it back out. It's too hostile. No point being a Bible thumper. It'll get you nowhere. It's a personal journey. Best you can do is ensure that if somebody knocks, the door is open for them. Support one another. Live by example. Set an example. And that's how you're gonna lead people to God. Set an example. Just be noticed. Be noticed that you have a loving home, that it's tidy and clean, your yards are tidy and clean, your kids are happy, you're content with your life, and you're not caught up in other people's drama. Like legitimately, not pretend. I don't mean be the standover of the house and make everybody put on some kind of a fake show. Actually do it, like mean it. Don't have dominance over your family. Have a family that loves you, respects you. It's your duty as a man, as a father, to take care of your family, not to dominate them. You can't force someone to stay. You give them the choice. You give them an ultimatum. It doesn't mean you're throwing them out either. It's their choice. If they want to go on doing what they're doing, or they want to go, Let them go. In doing that, you're saving the kids. You're saving the rest of what's left. You're not allowing it to be poisoned. You don't want the poison in your home. It's their choice to make. You can choose to let it eat you up and be bitter and angry and fall apart, and you've been there, done that. All of the above. If you need to be paid to do something for somebody, you're not doing anything for anybody except yourself. If you're looking for some kind of a reward for doing something for somebody, you're not doing it for anyone but yourself. It's selfish and greedy. If you're doing it just to try to kid yourself that you're virtuous, again, selfish. When somebody gives you something that you wasn't expecting, that can be two things. They could be robbing from you by giving you something, taking what was a virtue and turning it into receiving, giving just to receive. Depends how you accept it, if you accept it. So I was recently just given $300 in vouchers for helping out at Summerfest that I didn't know was coming. It didn't exactly feel genuine. And I gave it to the kids. Don't waste it. I didn't do that to receive. I felt like what I did for my community was about to be stolen. It was an attempted theft. They may not even realise that. They probably don't. But I was insulted by it. Not offended, insulted. They're not the same. When an addict goes to get clean needles for their habit. Now, I remember a time I'd go and get them when I had the habit. There was a questionnaire I had to fill out. Now, the questionnaire was just data collection. Who's using what, where is it? And I know for a fact, that was police information. Giving that information told the police where all the drugs were that they sold. They was getting to see who their customers were. But your package always came with outreach information, rehabilitative information, with the offer for rehab, the offer for counselling and help of some sort. That's helping. But just giving them willy-nilly, like, okay, you're actually adding to the problem. There's nothing virtuous about it. You can't offer somebody a hand down and call that a hand up. Trust me, I know. And the textbook fruitcakes that think that they know the pathway out of addiction? Haven't got a fucking clue. Haven't got a clue. They don't realise that they're actually part of the problem. They're part of the problem in the sense that they keep telling you it's okay to relapse. It's okay. Why don't you come to this support group and we'll share, and everyone sits there and talks about all their times on drugs. It's the same with gambling, the same with alcohol. Every time you go to that support group, the candle gets relit. It's a trigger. It triggers people. They haven't got a clue that they're triggering people. How can they get it so that it goes from a shout to a whisper to something that you can ignore if you're always keeping it to the forefront of their mind instead of giving them something else to occupy their mind with that's a positive replacement? It's a system doomed for failure. Staying off drugs out of guilt means your life is still in a bad place. It's going to remain in a bad place. If you feel guilty for ever being an addict, then the drugs are still working. The whole system is still keeping you oppressed and suppressed and depressed. All kinds of pressure, but no relief, no freedom from the oppression. No sense of self-worth or rebuilding dignity. You're an addict. We've got a drug for that. I mean, what is that? That's our retarded democratic system that we have. So no, inherently there's not really anything wrong with democracy or communism or socialism or any of them. It's the people in charge of them. Do they allow that governance to flow outwards? Or are they just siphoning from it? I think we can see by the fruits that we are given. Look at the food in the supermarkets. Look at your bills. Look at the stress you're always like burying to try to pretend to be happy. This avatar that you're projecting out on social media. The guilt that you're carrying, the skeletons that you're hiding in your closet, you're too scared to tell anybody about in case they judge you. You're going to be judged anyway. Everybody's on the list. What, you think Jeffrey Epstein's the only list? That's only the pocket notebook. Think about the digital list that's sitting there in Palantir. Everything in Australia, ever since Julia Gillard announced the Data Retention Act, and Tony Abbott extended it to 11 years. It's been 11 years. In about 10 years since it was actually implemented. Do you want to keep supporting that system? I think we have passed the threshold. There's no turning back now. We've opened the book. Once you've read it, you can't unread it. If you don't want to be caught on the wrong side of that history, I think you should be telling the world everything. Everything.